Hello! In this video we're going to look at finding a percentage of an amount. On the screen for the do now there's a question. Can you write the following percentages as fractions in their simplest form? This is what we did last lesson, so look back on your notes if you need. Pause the video while you have a go and press play when you're ready to see the answer. Here's the answers. Part A was 9/10 and part B is 7/25. The outcomes for today, we're going to look at converting between fractions and percentages, a bit of revision from last lesson. Silver, we're going to use multiplication to find a percentage of an amount. And gold, you're going to use that to solve some worded problems. The starter then. Again, this is what we did last lesson, so look back at your notes if you need to. Pause the video while you have a go at the questions and press play when you're ready to see the answers. The answers are on the screen. Part A is 35% and part B is 8%. Example number 1 for today. Calculate 20% of £120. Write down the question. 20% of £120. And let's have a look at the working out for this. So what we need to do is convert this percentage into a fraction. So 20%, remember that percent means out of 100. So we can say 20 over 100, or 20 out of 100, multiplied by 120. Now if you think back to when we was looking at fractions, the word of just means multiply. So we can change of to a multiply. Use a calculator if you need to, so 20 over 100 multiplied by 120. If you're doing this without a calculator, we can simplify this fraction first. So 2 over 10 multiplied by 120. 2 multiplied by 120 will be 240. And remember the fraction line means divide. So we would have 240 divided by 10, and our final answer will be £24. Example number 2. Calculate 75% of 48 kilograms. Write down the question first, 75% of 48 kilograms. And let's have a look at the working out. Again, we need to convert this percentage, 75%, into a fraction. So 75 over 100. The word of means multiply. So 75 over 100 multiplied by 48. That fraction simplifies down to 3 over 4. Because we can divide both of these numbers by 25. So 75 divided by 25 is 3, and 100 divided by 25 is 4. Now we've got 3/4 multiplied by 48. 3 multiplied by 48. 3 multiplied by 40 first, 120. And then 3 multiplied by 8 is 24. So 120 plus 24 be 144. Divided by 4, we will get 36 kilograms. You can use a calculator if you want for some of these questions. If not, you can just write down a little bit more working out onto your paper. And example number 3, so this will be our last example. A bike costs £180 before VAT is added. How much VAT must be added to the cost of the bike if VAT is charged at 17.5%? So VAT is what we call value added tax. So anything that's sold in a shop, well, there's some things that are excluded, but most things that are sold in shops have this extra tax added on. And sometimes, I'm not sure if it still is now, but in the past it used to be 17.5%. And let's have a look at our solution. What we need to do is break this 17.5% down into some other smaller percentages that are going to be a little bit easier. And that would be 10 plus 5 plus 2.5. And to find 10% of a number, we divide by 10. So 180 divided by 10 is £18. From there, we can find 5% by dividing 10% by 2. 10% divided by 2 is 5%, so 18 divided by 2 will be 9. And then we need to find 2.5%. So again, 5 divided by 2 this time will give us 2.5. And we also divide 9 by 2 to give us £4.50. So in total, 17.5%. If we add all of these percentages up, we will get 17.5%. And we also need to add up our money for each of these percentages. And the total of that will be £31.50. So 17.5% of £180 is £31.50. This is the last example, so on the next slide will be some questions. I'll put the questions on for a few seconds, and then if you pause the video while you have a go and press play when you're ready to see the next set of questions. On the next slide is going to be the answers. Pause the video while you mark those, and once you've finished that, that's it for today's lesson.